Thank you for listening to the Golden Hour Drip podcast with me, Logan Lee Miller. Enjoy the show. Welcome back to the Golden Hour Drip podcast. I'm your host, Logan Lee Miller, and if you're new here, I am a 25-year-old girl. I live in mid-Missouri, I guess central Missouri, if you will. I have two blue heelers and a husband. The blue heelers are obviously before my husband. No, I'm just playing. But so if you're new here, thank you so much for tuning in and watching. If you're on YouTube or listening, if you're on Spotify or Apple Music or wherever. And if you've been here for a while, it's glad to see you again. It's glad to hang with you again. And I appreciate you picking Golden Hour Drip as your podcast of choice. So Golden Hour Drip is all about just chasing after that very best version of yourself. Just like golden hour is the best hour of the day, I encourage everybody, and I work on it daily myself, to pursue that best hour of my life, right? Like that best version, that select, you know? And that's not to say that the other hours in the day is not as good or they're bad, but we all have that like shining moment of, oh my gosh, everything has aligned, everything is perfect, I am on top of my game, I am charismatic, I am like just amazingly magnetic, everybody who is supposed to be in my life is coming into my life, everything is falling into place, right? Like we all crave and love that feeling of just completeness and perfectness. It doesn't happen all the time. We definitely have those days where nothing seems to go right. I personally, I've had my fair share of those days, right? Like we all do. And okay, so here's a story. I wasn't going to share it, but now I feel like I'm urged to. So I want to schedule my life, right? Like I love to have a schedule. I like to be regimented. I like to have things to do, right? I think life is as special as you make it. So if you are adding these things to your plate, or you are just wanting a little extra pizzazz in your life, like that is completely fine. We all do. So my perfect version of my life is to get out of bed bright and early. Bright. No, I want to get out of bed before the sun is out, right? Like I want it to be pitch black when I wake up, and I want to like have a morning routine that is just for me, that is sacred, that is quiet and just perfect and amazing. So that includes working out, that includes grabbing a fun little coffee, because I love visiting coffee shops. That is so important to me, to like have a drink. I don't know, like it's a beverage. I'm a beverage girly. To journal, to take a shower, to spend a little extra time in my skincare. I love to apply all the fancy serums. Growing up, I would look at magazines and movies, and these girls would wake up and they would have their life together, and that's something that I've always craved. So I'm laying out my leggings before bed. I am gonna take a cycle bar class in the morning. I'm all about cycle bar right now. It's very fun. I love the music. I love the dark room. I love everything about it. So I'm in a cycle bar phase. Love it, hate it. That's where I'm at. So I have my leggings out, and I have my outfit that I'm gonna wear, and I put my towel, because right now their washer is broke, so you have to bring your own towel if you're sweaty like I am, and I was sweaty, like I'm hanging on to those handlebars for dear life, because I'm gonna slide my ass right off. Like if I was not strapped in with shoes, I would absolutely be like falling. Ever see I Feel Pretty? Like that would be me. I would be Amy Schuler, and I would be the same person, right? Like falling, hitting my head. So I have this vision of how I want my morning to go, and I'm feeling so good. My alarm goes off at 4:15. That's a sweet spot for me, because if I wake up at 4, I always like talk to myself. I'm like, you know what? You could sleep in an extra 15 minutes. Like, you have 15 minutes. And then I sleep in more, and then I'm running late. Like, absolutely not. So I set it for 4:15 because there's no time to sleep in. I have to get up. And so I'm getting up, I'm putting on my leggings. I have energy. Like, some mornings you don't have the energy, and other mornings you have like a little bit of energy and you're like, okay, like I feel like I can do this. So this was a morning that I had some energy. I was like, hell yeah, like this is gonna be a great day. I put on my leggings, I'm brushing my teeth, I'm pulling my hair back, and I make it to our kitchen living area. So our house is like not super big. It's about 1,200 square feet, which if you live in an apartment, obviously like that's more square footage. But in the grand scheme of things, our house it's not like super big. It's pretty perfect for 2 people and 2 dogs. But our house is like not that big. So as I'm walking down the hallway, I noticed that the gate is like falling down. I'm like, huh, interesting. I must have slept so good that I did not even notice that the gate fell. And maybe it's because I've been wearing earplugs to bed. That honestly is such a hack. I have been loving wearing little foam earplugs. I wear them on the plane. I've been doing a lot of traveling this year. So having a sleep mask and earplugs is like chef's kiss. It's so good. It blocks out all the noise, and I feel like I can get into the deepest sleep. And maybe that's why I've been having more energy in the morning. I don't know. But it has been very good. I cannot hear. In the summertime, I always have crickets outside my window, and it literally bothers me so freaking much. And then we also have Garrett breathing, my husband, right next to me. I don't know what's wrong with me, but I cannot stand his like breathing or his snoring or his movement or the dogs. Like I can't have it. I have got to have my 7 to 8 hours. I need more sleep as a person, especially if I'm getting up early. So it was probably my earplugs. I want to keep calling them AirPods, my earplugs, whatever. I just said AirPlugs. That's probably why I couldn't hear the gate in the morning or whenever they broke out. And then the stench hits me. One of the dogs, and it was probably Rooster, because I know it was Rooster. One of the dogs had gotten out. I don't know it was Rooster. I'm blaming Rooster. I know in my heart and soul. Don't you ever just know which one of your dogs did it? Like which one of them was naughty? Like who is the culprit? Like if something is chewed up, like completely destroyed, it's probably Rowdy. If there is a stinking pile of poo in the house, I bet it's Rooster. I bet he has not had an accident in the house for so long. But there was a huge, massive, stinky, smelly ass pile in front of the fridge. Should I be grateful that it was not on the carpet? Absolutely. I'm so grateful it's not on the carpet, right? But here I am having the morning of my life. I've woken up with energy. I'm checking all the boxes of how I want to spend my morning. And there is a huge, stinking pile of dog poo. Disgusting. I wanted to gag. This is not how I want to be up at 4 a.m. in the morning. Absolutely not. And guess what? Here's the kicker. We have no Walmart bags because I went on a manic cleaning spree and cleaned out all of the Walmart bags. I did not realize, but I had stuffed so many like Walmart bags in our little Lazy Susan cabinet area where we put like cans and stuff, so much so that it was like completely compressed in the back, and the cans, like the circle thing, would not move. That's how many we had. And I was like, you know what, like we're gonna go shopping, we will replenish these. I need to throw them away, sorry. Like I try to be a good recycler, I try to do all the things, but sometimes you add to the plastic waste in this world. So here I am, no plastic bags in the house, zero, zilch, none. And I was like, you've got to be kidding me. Did I let that stop my day? Absolutely not. Did I cry about it? Yes. Did I yell at my husband afterwards, like when I got back? Because here's the thing. You might be thinking, why would I yell at Garrett? That perfect sleeping man, he was asleep, he did not know. Well, that night, the night before, I had gone to an event in, I think it was in Shawnee Mission, or it was in Kansas City. I can't remember where exactly it was, but like my little girl meetup with Let's Be Friends Kansas City, KC. You can check it out on Instagram, but I went to an event. So the dogs were already like put up when I got home. So did Garrett let them out? Yes, I'm sure he let them out before bed, but like I needed someone to blame, right? Like I needed someone to put the blame on. It can't be the poor dog, you know? He can't open the door. No, I was just so angry. That's such like a dirty situation because someone has to clean it, somebody has to pick it up, and guess what? It was me. It was me that time. And sometimes you're gonna have to be the person who cleans up after their dog, even if it's really freaking nasty. But he probably had an upset stomach. I'm glad he didn't do it in the hallway. I'm glad I didn't step on it. There honestly has been so many times where I've like walked in the dark throughout the house. But yeah, so I had to do that. But did I let it stop my cycle bar experience? No, I did not. Was that the best hour of my day? Absolutely not. Cleaning up dog poo was not the golden hour, okay? That was not the best hour. That was not nothing. That was horrible. I want to forget about it, honestly. But it was terrible. And so I went to cycle bar. I had a really, really awesome class. I came back home and I did not see it. I don't know how I missed it. I don't know if my nose just wasn't working or what was happening, but there was some dog poo on my rug in front of the front door. And so when I got back home, I stepped in it. And I was like, Garrett, did you not see this? Although I had gone out the front door, like to my cycle bar class. And then I was feeling embarrassed. I was like, oh my gosh, what if I stepped in it before instead of after? Like, and then I tracked it. That would have been so disgusting. But I'm pretty sure, 98% sure that I stepped on it on the way home, like on the way back. And honestly, it was a very embarrassing, horrible situation. I did throw my tennis shoes in the wash, like I hosed them down and then washed them. What do you do for that? Right now, our little rug in front of the door is currently outside because I don't know if I want to wash it or throw it away. Like, that is so hard. And then I think, oh my gosh, like these are just dogs. Like, what happens when I have a baby? Oh my gosh, like, oh, I'm not pregnant, guys, I'm not pregnant. I feel like I have to say that every time I ever mention anything about children. But I'm like, oh, that was literally disgusting. Was that my best golden hour? Absolutely not. Did it interfere with my schedule or doing the things that I wanted to do? No. It didn't, because even if bad things happen or even if things don't go as planned, you always have the choice to how you're going to react to it. Because, I mean, I cannot choose that my dog accidentally got out in the night and left me a little surprise in the morning. You know, like that wasn't my choice. That's not what I wanted. That wasn't part of the plan. But sometimes things will not be part of your plan and things won't be a part of your schedule. So I just want to preface that before we get into the actual meat of this episode, because you can schedule and you can plan all you want, but sometimes it won't go how you want it, and it's not going to be perfect, and that is okay. Nothing has to be perfect according to your plan for it not to work out or for it not to be actually good. So honestly, we're just going to start with that, okay? It happens to everyone, no matter how perfect someone's life seems on social media or in person either. Like, have you ever talked to someone and you're like, how is your life so perfect? Or like, they'll be talking about, oh yes, like, they'll be talking about like their love story or how they got their career, or where they're at in their career, or their studies, or where they've just became a doctor, or whatever. Like all these cool, amazing things, and you're listening to them and you're like, oh my gosh, like, is your life actually that perfect? Like, and then you start comparing yourself and you're like, oh, like, I wish my life was as according to a plan as theirs is, right? And you just think, what is wrong with me? Why isn't my life going like that? Why isn't the things that I'm like putting into the universe, putting into my diary, putting into the things that I'm working on, my day in, my day out, you're like, why isn't it working for me? Why isn't it like it seems for someone else, right? Like, we can all think those things, but in reality, we all get dog shit on our floor, right? Like, we all have those moments that don't go according to plan. That's just like point blank, period. So I have been trying to make my routine and make my schedule as seamless as possible. I have been trying to do the no phone before or after bed. So in the morning, I'm waking up, I'm trying to go to cycle bar, I'm trying to work out, or on the days that I have a rest day, because I'm trying not to like overwhelm myself with everything. I think there needs to be a good balance of the crazy, super regimented schedule, and you have to have like a little bit of balance with it, a little bit of grace, because if you want to stick with any sort of habit, you have to have the balance, or you're going to get burnt out and you're not going to be able to succeed, and you're not going to be able to follow through, because it's like, it's not a habit yet. You don't have it in your brain, right? Because we have all of these like pathways and your neurons. I'm not a brain scientist, okay, but I know the concepts of whatever is not being used, you will lose, and things that fire together do better together, okay? That's what I go by in my own head. So when you continue to do something and like you keep it part of your routine, you are basically making a little trench, right? Like a little trickle of water can make the Grand Canyon. And the Grand Canyon, to move or to alter that route, is going to be a lot harder, because it has been thousands of years to make the Grand Canyon what it is. Same with your habits and your routines and your schedules and what you want to do. It's going to take time. It might not take 1,000 years, right? But it's going to take time, because you have to etch in that stone. You might have never done it before. You might have resistance, right? Like, what's more harder than a rock, right? Like, to get through a rock in a hard place. They say that all the time. But you're going to have things that come up. You're going to have these things that are going to limit you. And it's not always going to be super fun. So for me right now, something that has been kind of a rock to really blast through has been my cell phone. So in my routine, I've been trying to do first 2 hours of waking up, no cell phone. That, honestly, the waking up with no cell phone is the hardest part, because I have this intense habit of when I wake up, because it's dark out, I will use my phone light to wake me up in a slow way. Because I'm like, oh, like if I shine this phone light in my face, because it has blue light, because it has things to distract me, to entertain me, music, whatever, then I am going to be more apt to open my eyes, right? I'm going to pay attention. But what I've noticed is on the days that I like scroll on my phone in bed, I'm glued to that thing. I am not being as productive as I should be. I'm not making my bed as quick. I'm not moving on to the next thing. I can wake up, scroll on my phone for a little bit, a lot of it. It could be 20 minutes, How much can you get done in 20 minutes? Brush your teeth, wash your face, get dressed for the day. Like, you can easily do that in, 10 minutes? Make your bed, go into the kitchen, make yourself some breakfast. You can do a lot in 20 minutes in comparison to like scrolling on your phone. I'm not saying I never scroll on my phone. I love my cell phone. I love to look at social media and connect with friends and do all the things and Google and research, and I love it, okay? I'm not saying that's why I have an addiction. That's my rock, right? So not shining the light on my face has been a little bit of a struggle. Instead, I've been like using the lamp. And when I use like my side table lamp to wake up, I notice I'm like, well, why am I laying in bed? There's nothing to do. Like, I might as well get up. So the 2 hours might seem like a lot when you wake up to not have your cell phone, but I also think about who actually needs me in these 2 hours. What are they actually wanting from me? And since I'm waking up relatively early, nobody really needs anything from me. Nobody should need anything from me because most of them are asleep, right? They're sleeping, they're snoozing, they're not up when I'm up. So it's easy to do the 2 hours without it because nobody is awake. Everybody is asleep. So it's not that big of a deal. If I am working out, I do listen to like Spotify in the morning. I'll put on a podcast, I'll put on music when I get into my vehicle. But that plays automatically. It just like hooks up, and whatever I have on previously, that's usually what I have on for the morning time. But I have seen such an increase in my productivity, but also like creative thinking for what I'm doing with the day, or like I'll remember things on my list because I feel like I have some sort of like amnesia where I wake up out of bed and I'm like, okay, like here I am scrolling on my phone and I forget all the things that I should actually be doing until it hits me, right? Like until I like put the phone down, until I hop in the shower, and then I'm like, oh yeah, I have this today. Oh yeah, I could have been spending the last hour doing the things on my list instead of like scrolling on my phone, right? So that has been so productive. Am I perfect? Absolutely not. Sometimes I will last like 30-45 minutes without my phone instead of the full 2 hours, but I'm trying to break that barrier and trying to work my brain more in the morning because I feel like my brain is the most powerful in the morning. It has not yet had decision fatigue, which is where you have to make a lot of like short, small bursts of decisions, and so it can burn you out for the day. So I have been trying to avoid that, right? Like every time you scroll, you're thinking, okay, this is a decision. Should I continue to scroll? Or like, should I make my bed? Should I go work out? What should I wear? Am I going to brush my teeth? What toothpaste am I going to use? Like, am I going to take a shower? Like, all of those are like decisions. What am I going to have for breakfast? I try to avoid decision fatigue as much as possible. I try to wear or lay out the clothes the night before. I'm having 5 eggs for breakfast with cottage cheese and tomatoes. I've been loving watermelon right now, so I've been eating chopped up watermelon. I try to have the same thing until I get too burnt out on it because it helps with the decision fatigue. And early in the morning, I don't have the decision fatigue, and I feel like I can do more, and I can think about other things. I can do editing, I can read, I can spend some time outside. Like I can work on being a productive human instead of just like hanging out in bed and scrolling, which isn't bad if that's what you want to do. That's just not what I want to do. So, and then I feel like it is much easier in the evening because I like can read. I'm pretty much like burnt out. I don't want to scroll. I can watch like some TV if I want to. I can be working on preparing for the upcoming morning. So for me, the like nighttime, I really try by like 6:37 to put my phone away and to not have it out and to put it up, because I feel like it is really good for me to be present and to like enjoy the show that I'm watching, because I feel like that's actually really hard for me to just like sit and watch a movie like start to finish and to pay attention to all the scenes. I absolutely love it when like it'll be like Garrett's night to pick the movie or whatever, and so he'll pick it and he's like, oh, this is so good, and then I spend like the entire time on my phone. It's like the first 15 minutes or whatever, I'll like look up from whatever I'm doing and I'm like, oh, what's happening? Who is that character? What's going on? You know, I'm not even paying attention. So how can I even tell if it's gonna be like a good movie or not, you know? So I tried really, really hard to stay present and actually watch the movie, no matter how good or bad I think it is, because I get so used to just distracting myself with other tasks and not being present in the moment. I will try to do everything and just like, it's like a toxic productivity. And when you are multitasking in that way, when you're trying to do too much, it's actually not productive at all. And you are splitting your focus, and it is also, in my opinion, reducing your attention span for like important things. Have you ever like noticed where you're like itching for your cell phone? Addiction. Or you're itching to like put on TV, put on music, and not ever being like just fully present in the moment. I definitely have struggled with this for sure. And so I think when I like schedule out the things that I need to do, or schedule out windows where, okay, this is the time where I can scroll on my phone, or this is the time where I need to put my phone away and I need to focus on like what's happening in front of me or what I'm doing, like that has just been so helpful for me, because it's almost like treating myself like I'm in high school again, or treating myself like a child, to where, okay, you need to go outside, you need to run around barefoot, you need to work in your garden, you need to weed your flower patch, you need to be doing all these things that when you were younger you wanted to do so freaking bad. But now as an adult, it's like we all have an adult pacifier. I don't know, like I truly think that I like need to break the habit to be like my most productive and most like happiest version of myself. So scheduling these like little pockets of time has been so helpful. Okay, you're gonna wake up at 4:15 if I'm working out that day. You're gonna go to your cycle bar class. I really think it makes it more special, because when I'm not like constantly playing the TV or constantly playing a podcast, like I'll save certain podcasts for that day that I'm gonna like go work out. So it's like a special treat. It's like, oh my gosh, like I get to listen to this podcast because it's Wednesday and like my workout class is gonna be Thursday. So instead of just like not even paying attention to it, trying to do too much, multitasking, having this toxic productivity, I'm gonna save it for Thursday when I'm gonna be in the car and I'm gonna be driving and I need to pay attention to my surroundings. So I'm gonna be listening to a podcast so that I'm completely engaged. I'm not trying to drive and text or do anything like that. And I'm gonna fully immerse myself in this podcast and I'm gonna drive, and it's gonna be a special treat. I'm going to like absorb everything. Whereas if I were to like just be playing it and also be trying to work or trying to clean, I have it on the speaker and then I go into this room or that room and I can't hear it properly or can't hear it all. So that has just it's been so fun, honestly. Like I love to manipulate my schedule to have like these different things. I think it's fun, and I think it makes me appreciate them more, and it also makes me feel like I'm kind of important, right? Like, oh, I have somewhere to be, oh, I have like this in my schedule. Like it might sound stupid or ditzy, but it's really, really fun. And if you've never like made up a schedule for yourself, why haven't you? Like, it's the perfect, like a to-do list. You feel so accomplished when you cross it off. It doesn't matter if it was actually like dire important or something super, super fun and like doesn't matter that much. And when I say don't matter, I mean the things that are not life or death, but still like add so much value to your life. So that's what I mean by doesn't really matter, or it's like not a big deal. It's not a have to do, it's a want to do. And I love making a schedule for a want to do instead of I have to do this, right? And even the things that I have to do, I try to change my mindset to think, okay, like this is something we get to do. This is something that we have on our schedules because of XYZ, right? Like, and it makes it more fun when you can do it like that, when you can frame it in your mind. I used to be the type of person that would intermingle the bad and the good, right? Like, you work hard and you get reward. You work, reward, right? And I did not like getting into the mindset of, okay, now's the time to work, and then we get to play, but then we have to go back to the work, right? So for me, I noticed that I was not being as productive as possible because it was the whole mindset shift. And sometimes, I guess I'm a little contradicting because I do like to work and play during like shows where it's like, okay, I watched episode 1 and then I'll like go switch laundry really quick and then come back for episode 2, because those are like mindless things. That's not really like that much work. Housework to me is not, it's not something like, you know, it's not that hard for my brain to do it. If that is something for your brain that is hard to do, then that might be like your icky bad thing. My bad thing would be like going and, I don't even know, like just the things that are gonna take a lot of brain power for me, whether that is on a day I really don't want to go work out, or a day that I am needing to like edit a bunch of like videos or photos or something like that. It takes a lot of brain power. And it takes a lot of like, okay, we're sitting down and we are doing this. So it's things like that where it's like work, play. And I don't like it that much. Like, I would rather completely stack all of the work things. So just get the bad out of the way. Wash the dogs and like, they absolutely hate being washed, okay? They do not like bath time. Okay, I tried really, really hard when they were puppies. They do not like bath time. Weeding, if the weeding has gotten out of control, don't like to do that. It's like all those icky things that there's just so much work, right? So I try to just like get it all out of the way and like, okay, we are gonna do all the hard stuff. We are gonna be like taking out the trash. We are gonna be cleaning out the yucky things in the back of the fridge that we forgot about, because that is actually a really disgusting job. It's all the things that you don't want to do, and you just do them so quickly. You're like, okay, I'm scheduling an hour and a half. All I am doing is these yuck jobs, right? These dirty jobs. Remember that show on TV? These dirty jobs. Not saying that cleaning out rotten food in the back of my fridge is the same as like cleaning out a like porta potty, but you know, it's similar. So for me, I have been really loving this. Okay, we are gonna work hard. We are gonna get all of the nasty jobs off of our list, and then we're gonna have fun. We are gonna stack all of the amazing fun things on the list. And I have just been completely running with this, loving this, and it has made me a more productive person. And I've read like the 4-hour work week, which I think 4 hours is just a little too small for me right now in this moment. But I love the concept of taking away the stuff that is like busy work, if you will. Like, it's the busy work that just like keeps you constantly tied to something. It is not a streamlined process. It's like, it's a lot of things that are just like a trickling drip, drip, drip. And I feel like that is the epitome of like the work, play, and you never fully get like a full break. So for me, I'm trying to figure out how to do like all this work and then just like play, you know, like condense it down, be as productive as possible. Does that mean I need to, you know, declutter? Does that mean I need to reduce my decision fatigue? Does that mean that I am going to have a whole day where I have to do all the dirty jobs so that I can have like a whole like rest of the week, the 6 days, to do things that I absolutely love, right? So I've been like tinkering with this idea and I've been implementing it in certain areas of my life. And this Saturday was my first day of complete fun, no work. So Friday was my work day. This was the day that I was gonna get everything just out of the way. And I was gonna do all the dirty jobs. I was gonna have no fun at all. So I woke up, I worked out, no, that's a lie. I worked out on Thursday. I did not work out on Friday because I felt like cycle bar class would have been fun on Saturday. So that's why I pushed it to Saturday. I've been trying to like do the work. I've been doing cycle bar on like 3 days a week and I've been having breaks. So like Tuesday, Thursday, and I had it on Sunday, but I've changed it to Saturday. That way I can have Sunday, Monday, completely no working out, and I won't work out until Tuesday. So I'm trying to give myself like the biggest break possible to allow myself to like have my muscles regenerate, if you will, whatever. I was listening to another podcast. That's a whole other story for a different time. But I was like, okay, I'm gonna wake up, I'm going to clean, I'm gonna get the laundry done, I am going to like work, I'm gonna get computer stuff out of the way, I'm gonna edit photos, I'm going to do everything that needs to be done. I'm getting it done Friday because Saturday I stacked my schedule with all sorts of like fun, girly nonsense things. And I think it's really important to have like a day like this where you can completely just do all the fun things that you want to do. And honestly, I could have packed more things in there, but I didn't want it to be too stressful. You guys know me, I need a weekend nap. I always need a nap. So that's being put on Sunday. Saturday was like a go and do thing. And since Friday was like a complete like, all right, we got all of our work together and done, like Saturday was like an event going out and doing things. Sunday was a complete lazy day. It was amazing. I've never had a better weekend. So Friday I got everything done. I went to bed and I was just like feeling so good about my progress. I mean, most of the laundry was folded, it was hanging up. I just had like one load in the wash, like so I switched that over to the dryer and it was like towels. Like, how good does it feel when you get to a load that is just towels and it's not like a million t-shirts that you have to fold and put away, or socks, right? Like socks are the worst. So I am like, okay, Saturday, I'm waking up, I'm going to cycle bar, and I had an amazing class. Then I went to a coffee shop because I truly, like, if I'm gonna get up and work out, I deserve something cute, okay? I deserve a coffee. So I got 2 little protein bars and I actually got matcha, but the matcha was so good. And I was just like so whimsical. I got my book, I read my book because I won a teeth whitening appointment at my Kansas City Girls meetup. Impressive Glow and Shawnee Mission. It is so freaking good. I will link her stuff down below. Maria was the sweetest soul, but my appointment, I had like 40 minutes in between cycle bar and the like teeth whitening situation. So it's like, okay, like I'll just hang out, get my coffee, or I got matcha. I know I keep calling it coffee, but I got a matcha, I hung out, I read my book, and I was like, all right, and then I will go get my teeth whitened. How pampering is that? And it was an hour-long session. So she did she did 3 20-minute sessions. It was so much fun. And I actually got a tooth gem too. I'm trying to implement more fun in my life. I'm trying to do all the things that I like second guess myself for. I feel like I've just put myself in a box of trying to be as grown up as possible and to like act ages older than I am, especially like in my career and in my like what I've been trying to do with my life. And I feel like there's gonna be a time where I'm gonna get to be old and then I'll act like an old lady, but maybe I won't. Maybe I will still act like a child, and that is completely okay. But Maria had the cutest little teeth gems in her own mouth, and I was like, I want a tooth gem. How, like, who cares? Like, I want to be fun. Like, I want to implement more carefree things in my life. So I got a little tooth gem. It is on my, I wouldn't say, I think it's a K9. I got it on my K9. It's very cute. Check out Instagram or check out Threads. Honestly, Logan Lee Miller on Threads, I posted a photo. It's very cute. Not like in the Instagram way I posted a photo, but it's just like, bling, got it. It's so cute. So if you ever thought about like getting your teeth whitened, it does not hurt at all. She put like this gum protector on me, and then she also like, it was just so good. Okay, I got to pick out my tooth gem. She put it on. I just like can't help but smile everywhere I go. I'm like, oh, do you see my tooth gem? Like, isn't it so freaking cute? I love my tooth gem. I love having my teeth whitened. Was that a live or die appointment? No, it was not. It was so fun though. Like, to have that on my schedule, like, oh, like Saturday I'm getting my teeth whitened. I'm gonna have to like go. So Maria was so sweet. I relaxed on that chair. And then you know what my next appointment was for the day? A massage. I booked a massage for 4 p.m. on a Saturday. And I was like, okay, like I got all my work done on Friday. Saturday is gonna be workout, teeth whitening, come home, take a shower, and then I'm gonna go get a massage and completely veg out and do nothing, right? Like that, it just sounded like the perfect day for me. I was like, you know what, this is what I want to do. This will be perfect. So I got home from my teeth whitening session. I couldn't drink, I was on a whites diet, so I couldn't like have tomato juice or coffee. I was so glad that I got my caffeine before the appointment. But after that, I came home, I took a shower. I was feeling already relaxed. Like I sat in a chair for an hour, I drove home, like it was very, very chill. And then I went and I got a massage. This was my first professional massage. My sister has given me a massage. She's a little massage therapist, so fun. But it was like at my mom's house, right? Like it wasn't at a studio, it wasn't on a table, like it was still a very, very good massage, but it wasn't the experience, right? Like it wasn't going to a massage therapist, or I'm sorry, I think that's what the massage therapist, duh. Anyways, a masseuse. So I went and got a massage and it was like so freaking, I just got chills. Like it was just so good. And the entire, like when I got there, I was like, how blessed am I that I had a day. I also stopped at Lululemon to drop off my leggings to be hemmed. I was like, oh, they've got to be hemmed. Like they were just a bit too long. And I dropped those off and I was like, when I got to the massage appointment, I just thought to myself, oh my gosh, like how lucky am I that I had a full day filled with things, but they were all electives. They were all stuff that it wasn't life or death if I didn't go, right? Like I didn't have to make the appointment, but it was for fun. It was because it was going to make me happy. It was because it's what my soul needed. I have had a very, very hectic, busy schedule. I've been trying to figure out things for myself and for my, honestly, like my life and my trajectory and what goals I want to pursue and where I'm going to be at. And I was just like a whole day just for fun. I didn't have to do anything. I did what I wanted. And it's because I had worked hard. It's because I, was doing all the things that would get me to have the finances to book these things, or like the connections and going and doing it. And I was just so grateful and happy. So I'm laying on this table, and Jen, she did a fantastic job. Oh my gosh, it was so good. Parlor 7 in Warrensburg, if you are interested. But she did just an amazing job. I was so relaxed. She did a full body massage. It was like an hour and a half of goodness. She did a scalp massage. She did my shoulders. That was honestly like the biggest thing for me, is my shoulders have just been like so like tight. That's where I hold a lot of my stress and like tension. And I feel like when I go to sleep, like my like shoulders are up to my ears, and I just need to remember to like relax them and not like be so tight all the time. I feel like it's a protective measure when I go to bed, but I'm trying to work on it. I really am. So the massage, I just like was laying on the table, and at first I was a little nervous. I was like, okay, here I am, like completely naked. I had my undies on, but with a towel, a towel. It was like a very nice, like cozy blanket, whatever. So here I am in a very vulnerable position, right? And how intimate is a massage? Like, she is touching my calves, my arms, my legs, my hand. I always think like my hands, when people touch my hands, that is such like an intimate situation. When you are having your hand massaged, because if you think about it, like your hand is what you like. You hold everything with your hands. I know that sounds like so dumb, but think about it. Like you hold your spouse's face, right? Like you hold their face, you hold their hands, you hold a baby in your hands, you hold like, it's just, hands are so intimate. I really think so. And so like whenever I have like my nails done, I'm like, the nail tech is like holding my hand. I'm like, how intimate is this, right? And a massage is even more intimate. They are literally working on every single part of your body. And I'm like, oh my gosh, like I felt a little insecure. I felt a little nervous. Even Maria, when she was working on my teeth, like here I have these like, oh, it's so bad. I have this like mouth spreader on. And her face is obviously close to my face because her hand is trying to apply the gel. They're intimate settings, right? Like you have to have so much trust with the individual doing the service, right? And you have to be so grateful and also respectful of them, because here they are, like I just think it's such a cool thing. But I'm like, okay, I'm feeling very self-aware of every single part of my body on this table. I'm like, oh my gosh, like she's rubbing my back. Like, do I have a pimple on my back? Do I have something on my back that is like ugly? Like what, she sees it all, right? Like she sees my legs. I have this horrible bug bite on my knee. It's like huge. And when she was like rubbing my knee, I was like, oh, she probably feels my bug bite, like my little bug bite. Should I tell her, oh, that's a bug bite, but I was so relaxed. I was like, no, it's fine. But so she's working on my body, and I was like, I can either lay here and be super, super self-conscious of everything that she is doing, or I can chill, right? Like I can chill and I can let her work on it, and I can start envisioning my highest self. I can envision what I want to accomplish and do, because it's a form of meditation. Here I hear like the trickling of the water in the background, and I am like on this like very warm table, and my body has lotion and essential oils on it. Like it was fantastic. It was so good. And it was a perfect perfect situation to be thinking about everything that I want to accomplish and everything I want to do, and just giving that time to connect with my soul and connect with my brain and to just sit there and lie there. But I wouldn't have had it if I would have, like, okay, after this I'm gonna have to work, right? Or fitting it in between like my lunch break. I do that so much with appointments. I'll be like, oh, I'll do it on my lunch break, it'll be fine. I'll like try to get it done, right? But it's more than that, right? Like, you have to think about, am I going to go back into a stressful environment? Is this going to be the most beneficial for me if I'm going straight from a massage back to work? Like, no. If that's all that your time will allow, then okay, that's all the time that will allow. But for myself, I wanted it to be a completely, okay, we are doing this for us. We are doing it to relax and to rejuvenate and recharge. I think recharging your batteries is so good. And after the massage, after I was feeling so relaxed, she was like, when you set up, like, be careful, like, because although it was like a relaxing massage, you still like move things around, and like for your, obviously, like lymphatic drainage and your toxins and everything, like, you've just moved it around, so make sure that you're drinking tons of water. And I will tell you, since my massage, I've had a headache, and I really, really think it's because I'm dehydrated. I feel like I'm drinking a lot of water, but not enough for like the massage. So I'm trying to pound the water and just remember, hey, you had a massage, you got things moved around, like, there's going to be toxins that are leaving your body. I don't know. But I was like, okay. And then after the massage, I went to a sushi date with Garrett. It was so good. It was like the most relaxing evening. I went to bed, and then Sunday was even better. And I think that our schedules can become so jam-packed with everything, and we can just pile it on. But just as it is important for you to schedule your work and the things that are like, you have to do this, right? Like, we all have those things that we have to do, and we have to show up, and it could be commitments like a birthday party for a family member, or honestly, anything that you have to put in your calendar, and you're like, this is going to take more time, more energy, more just giving, right? Like, you have to give so much sometimes in these situations where you feel like, oh my gosh, like, what is there left to give myself? And you can feel a little burnt out, even if it's like some of the things are fun. And I feel like I've had like a lot of fun things this year. I've had a lot of amazing memories made, and it's been amazing, right? But it's still a lot of running and doing. Like, I need time for myself, and I felt like this weekend was the perfect opportunity to have that time for myself and to relax and to not really have anything. When I say not have anything important, I mean nothing that is do or die. There's still important things, and you could almost think it is like a stressful or do or die situation, because if you don't take time for yourself, if you don't take the time to give yourself the self-love, then you could become stressed, roll off the rails, whatever. And so I don't want to say they're not important, but they aren't the bad things. These are the fun things to schedule. And when you open up your schedule in the ways that, okay, you got all the work done and now it's time to play, or you've optimized your morning routine where it's like, okay, like, my morning routine is so good that I'm able to fit in a few house chores before I go to work, that my Saturday isn't filled with cleaning my house. Or if I work on this like report or this big project a little bit every single day, then I have more time to like do what I love. Sunday, Garrett and I went to the movies. Oh my gosh, 4 p.m. movies are elite. I don't care what you say. Okay, some people might think that is too early, but a 4 p.m. movie is honestly the sweet spot, because it is too early for supper, right? Like it's too early. It's not 5, 6 o'clock. So you can have all the snacks that you could possibly want. You can get popcorn, M&Ms, you can get a little soda, you can get, I love Twizzlers or the sweet tart ropes, those are so good. But you can get the candy, and you can get the popcorn, you can get all the things because you haven't eaten yet. It's not supper time. So you can have all the snacks. And by the time that the movie gets over, we saw the Spider-Verse. I thought it was totally different. I didn't realize it was going to be animated the whole time. That was bad on my part. But I've been trying to watch the Spider-Man so that I could watch like the Spider-Verse. But I thought the Spider-Verse was going to be different. But it's okay. I thought it was going to be humans, like real people, instead of cartoons. But it was alright. It was pretty good. But a 4 p.m. movie. And that movie that we watched was 2 hours and 20 minutes. Then you think, okay, there's probably 15 minutes of commercials, maybe 10, I don't know. So now it's 4, 5, 6:30, 6:30, now we're into the supper time. And you usually eat your popcorn and snacks like within the first 30 minutes of the movie. So by the time the movie is over, you're actually hungry for supper, right? So it is the perfect time to watch a movie because you get the snacks and you get all the things without spoiling supper. So we got to watch a movie, and I was just thinking, we got to watch a movie, we got to hang out. If I would have had things to do, if I would have had like the work piling up at the house where I'm like, oh my gosh, like we've got to get home because I've got to do these things or my Monday is going to be ruined. Like I'm not going to be able to have a good week because I feel so behind, right? Like when you are able to schedule in or optimize your time or schedule stack where it's like one thing after another, you get it done, you get it out of the way, and then you can do whatever you want. And you can have those opportunities for those impromptu events, right? Like if someone wants to go hang out, if someone wants to go to a concert, we've had that before where someone has invited us to a concert. They're like, hey, do you want to go on Thursday? I'm like, absolutely, because we've gotten our work done. We've gotten the things that have to be done, so now we can go and play. And I know there are other things that go into this. You might have kids, you might, have other obligations. I know that I'm just a 25-year-old girl with no children, but I got 2 dogs, and I do have expectations as well. And people who rely on me, right? I live 2 miles down the road from my dad. That could have things I might have to do, right? Garrett might have things to do. His parents live pretty close as well. So like we all have those expectations, and it's all on how you're going to make the time for yourself. I have been traveling to see my family in Iowa. I've been traveling for work. I've been traveling for fun. It's so hard to make the time for yourself. But when you can actually make the time for yourself and you can schedule a day full of fun, I'm not going to act like I know it all or know your situation or what things you have going on, because I'm sure those things are very important, and I'm sure those things take a lot of your time and might feel like the end of the world if you don't get them done. I get it. I do. But there was just something so good about letting all of those obligations go for a day and letting all of those things just like dissipate and realize that you are in charge of your own schedule and you are in charge of filling it with the fun and the bad, right? Like the work and the play. And having a whimsical day full of stuff that was all electives and that was all just fun. It was so recharging for my body, for my spirit, for everything. And it was simple things, right? So I want you to find those whimsical, fun things to put in your schedule for no reason at all. And then you want to do it. And you think that it'll be fun, right? Like honestly, it was a blast. It was so fun. And Tuesday, I have my facial and my laser hair appointment, and I'm gonna get my nails done. those all, like, I get it. They're all like spending money. It's all like treating yourself. I get it. But you can do things that aren't like that either. So pick something and plan it for your day. But I appreciate you listening so much, and I will see you in the next one. Be sure to share with a friend who you might think might need it. But until next time, bye.